long wait for the long walk is officially done, and one of my more anticipated movies since I knew of its release, because I didn't know it was a thing until a few months ago. Uh, it's kind of hard not to be excited for a Stephen King adapted movie, and to no one's surprise, I mean, The Long Walk is fantastic. It's kind of hard. I mean, I don't know how well adapted this is to the book. I did not read the Long Walk book. I've read plenty of Stephen King books. This wasn't one of them. I wanted to read this before the movie came out, and they the day came and it just felt like it appeared out of nowhere. But The Long Walk is amazing. The decision to get the director of the Hunger Games movies to direct this movie was genius. I can't believe I didn't even think about that even until I finished rating the movie. I didn't know who directed it, and I was like, "Holy shit, it's the director from the Hunger Games movies. This is like no wonder it worked out so well. This guy's perfect for the fucking job because this movie slash book is basically a better version of Hunger Games. Some people might think it's more boring because there's not a lot of action or whatever, romance. I think this movie was brilliant. Before I get into the actual movie, though, the first thing I noticed was I think I only watched one trailer for this movie, so I didn't know necessarily who was in this movie except one person. And the movie starts, and you see Cooper Hoffman from Licorice Pizza, and you're like, "Oh shit, that's good. You got a nice up and coming actor on you." And then the cast just kept growing and growing in like the first 10 minutes, and you're like, holy shit, they did not fuck around with the casting for this movie. I mean, this is one of my favorite movie casts of the year. Sorry, my throat's so fucked up. I was out last night. But this movie's casting is insane. I like that this movie went the route of getting more unknown uh, up and coming actors or younger actors. I thought that was genius. Cooper Hoffman, Licorice Pizza, of course. I'm gonna save my favorite for last. Charlie Plummer, who, if you watched from my Cloverfish Killer review, he was in that movie. I loved him in that. Uh, Roman Griffin Davis from Jojo Rabbit. Not as big as a role as the other two I just mentioned, but he's in this. You have Ben Wang or Ben Wong from Karate Kid Legends. I can't remember if I made a review video for that movie. Loved him in that. I was a huge fan of him in that. All these guys, I'm a huge fan of them in all their movies that I mentioned. But then you have the other people like uh, Garrett Waring and Tut Nyut and Joshua Ojik and a few other names. And it's just like, holy shit, this was just fucking remarkable. They really could have just went the route of getting a bunch of very well known, already casted in hundreds of movies actors, but no, they went the route of getting these young up and coming guys, and I thought that was brilliant. And of course, my favorite for last, my favorite performance of last year, maybe, David Johnson from Alien Romulus is in this, and I wasn't surprised at all at how much I loved his performance in this movie. I think he is fantastic. When I finished watching Alien Romulus, I said this is going to be one of the best, one of the next big name actors in the game. I still think that's true. I think he is a phenomenal actor. He's not even that old. I think he's only 10 years older than me, so he's like in his early 30s. This guy is fucking amazing. And the fact he's not in that many movies is kind of strange to me because he is brilliant. I mean, I love David Johnson, and I didn't think I love him as much as I did in this movie as I did in Alien Romulus, but he is fantastic in this movie. Everyone I actually mentioned was great in this movie. It's remarkable. I can't remember much from the Hunger Games movies, and I don't know if it's the director who got the best of the actors in the Hunger Games movies, but I don't know. It's genuinely amazing how every single person in this movie just felt like they did an amazing job. And I didn't even mention the bigger name actors. You got Mark Hamill, which was amazing and a blessing that he even was in this movie because the reports came he wasn't going to be in the movie. He thought it was too gritty or dark or something. I can't recall. And he's in this, and he's fucking amazing. I don't think anyone else could have done a better job than him as the Major. Personally, I think his voice and his face is just too perfect for the role. And then you also have uh Judy Greer, who's always lovely. She doesn't have much of a role in this movie, which I'm happy about, and I'll get to that as well. But in the few scenes she's in and the two flashbacks she's in, I think she's pretty damn great. It's genuinely amazing. Every single person, even the side characters that don't even have lines, you know, they're pretty damn good. I mean, enough of the cast though. I think The Long Walk might have the best cast of the year. Could be wrong on that. Might have to recheck. Sinners is definitely up there. I can't be wrong. That's definitely up there. But the actual movie itself is fantastic. First off, it looks gorgeous. A main problem I have with movies nowadays, if you've seen so many of my other reviews, is I don't like how movies look nowadays. I think they look cheap or like the lighting is shit. But this movie looks gorgeous. Especially the rain scenes. The final scene in particular is absolutely stunning. I don't know. Like this movie just looks so great. And for people who are calling this movie boring, I don't get that at all. This is one of the most tense movies I've seen this year. I really just don't get how it's boring at all. Is it there's no action? I mean, it's pretty damn good. I don't think you need action in this type of movie for it to be not boring. The tenseness, the character dynamics with each other, everything's great. I don't understand that complaint for this movie. Sorry. The relationships in this movie are astounding. Of course, like I said, I haven't read the book, so I don't know if the relationships are similar or even anything at all the same as to the book, but I think they were done amazingly in this movie. Cooper Hoffman and David Johnson is like the 1-2 punch of this movie are amazing, and I love that this movie baits you to think that Cooper Hoffman's going to be the guy. I kind of knew halfway through in my head something flipped and I was like, yeah, Cooper Hoffman's dying. And I don't know if that's at the end or midway through. I just think he's dying. Unfortunately, I was right. I did not want that to be the case. Um, but those two together are fucking great. I think this movie could have just had them two, and it still would have been almost just as great. But of course, everyone else is amazing. I liked the Four Musketeers at first. Unfortunately, as the movie progressed, they kind of just dwelled off and they really didn't get much lines, specifically Ben Wang. It feels like he was in so much of this movie in the first hour, and then a little before his death, he just kind of disappears, and then the scene where he dies, he's like there a lot, but I wish we got more of him. Same with Tut Nyut. I hope I'm pronouncing that name right. I think he also got sideline similar to Ben Wang, maybe even worse because he has less lines. But both their characters are fucking great. Another thing about this movie for characters is you don't even know any of these people. You don't even hear half of these people, and yet you still have an emotional connection to them. Of course, I cried through a lot of movies. I cry in a lot of movies. Doesn't matter how shit it is. Uh, I just cry a lot during movies. I think this movie handled the deaths of each character phenomenally. It really feels like an impact, and even in the characters you don't give a shit about, um, or you don't know their names or anything, their deaths feel some type of way, and it definitely helps with how Cooper Hoffman and David Johnson, Ben Wang, Tut Nyut, the Four Musketeers all react to the deaths. I mean, the Ben Wang death alone is insane. When Tutnia is running back to him and trying to help him up, and I mean, he's just bleeding out. This movie is just such a good job at connecting every character emotionally. I'm genuinely surprised. I didn't think I'd like half of them, and I ended up liking every single person in this movie. I believe it was Roman Griffin Davis' character who gets the ankle death. That was fucking disgusting. I'm hoping I'm remembering correctly. I think that was him. His death was just fucking brutal. Also, I'm happy this movie is not scared to show the deaths or the shootings in the heads. The first death we get is like a close up of a guy's face, and the bullet going straight through his jaw. I mean, it's insane. Something else I love about this movie is that they could have went back and dwelled or went deeper with the relationships of the walkers and their families at home or their friends at home or their past lives. And I'm happy this movie doesn't even try to do that. You get the two flashbacks of Cooper Hoffman just to understand like his dad and then the lullaby for his mom, but you don't get that with anyone else. And I thought I was gonna get that so much, especially after the first flashback, and I was like, if this is why the movie's 2 hours long, I'm gonna be pissed. Thankfully, you don't get any of that. I don't need explanation and backstory for all fucking 50 characters, not even five, even two. I think the only one they could have done was David Johnson, but his character does such a good job at explaining his past. You don't need any of that. Every piece of dialogue in this movie is important. Every single step, misstep, shot, turning of the tank is just amazing. I really don't know what else to say about The Long Walk. I think this is one of the best movies this year. I'm genuinely surprised at how much I liked it. I love Stephen King, and I'm fine with Francis Lawrence. He does have the Hunger Games movie coming out next year as well, and this cast is just fucking great. I mean, I just need to go to the rating, I think. I didn't think I'd be here with The Long Walk. I didn't think I was going to be sitting here giving it a 9, and a very solid 9. I'm not even up or down on this movie. I think this is one of the best movies this year. Genuinely surprised at it. This is one of the best cast of the year, if not the best. Uh, Directionally, visually, everything is masterful in this movie. I'm very surprised that everything just worked out so well, especially like I said earlier with Mark Hamill coming back and being the main protagonist of this movie. The Long Walk is great. I would classify it as horror, and it is mm, maybe the best horror movie this year. I don't think it's better than Sinners. I have to rewatch Sinners. This might be some recency bias. The Long Walk is great. Go watch it. I don't know what else. Don't. If you're watching this, you haven't seen it. I'm sorry. I did spoil the ending a bit, but I don't really give a shit. You shouldn't be watching reviews if you haven't seen the movie. This movie's great. I love David Johnson, by the way. One last shout out to him. I think he is the only person, not in this movie, but he is going to be the one guy I'm going to look forward to every single month, week, day, year for his career. I hope there's a very bright future for him.